Okay, hey guys, it's me again, and this is London session. So we are awake, we're also ready, and we are trying to do some trading. So I haven't looked at the markets yet at all. This is my first time. I just got myself ready in the morning. I turned on my computer. As you can tell, I just pretty much woke up like not long ago. So we're gonna get straight into it. We're gonna review after, just because London session is now active. So we want to just quickly scan the markets for any opportunities. Then we can go into review time where, if we believe that price maybe um, about to move. Do something real quick. Okie dokie. Right. So this is USD CAD. Here we swept the lows. We haven't displaced upwards yet. GBP NZD, we're in a range. We were in this trade here, where price swept the. Oof, it's a bit difficult to see. Hold on. I kind of like it when it's just clean. But anyway, we entered this buy over here. We swept, had a displacement upwards, retraced all the way back to the order block. We swept the order block, which is interesting. Swept the low. Well, we didn't sweep this low, but we swept the order blocks low. The fair value gap got swept. I didn't enter the fair value gap. I got in after the sweep of the order block. Then I entered to the equal highs up here, which was the liquidity. I think this is London high. So price didn't actually take out this previous Asia session high or whatever high this was. And then price came back up. So that was a 1 to 7 we made yesterday, which is very nice. But as of now, it's within this range, which is in the Asia range, and there is nothing as of right now that is currently happening. So we're going to put this into Forex. Next one is Euro NZD. This again is in a range. We haven't taken the Asia sessions yet, so we're going to put this into Forex. AD Swiss franc. It is. We have swept the highs. This one I don't think we actually entered, but it was an idea we had. I'm pretty sure I can remember a lot of the trades I take. We saw this. This one we didn't take either because I don't know why. I think we just weren't unable to. I think we took something else alongside. I think we took GBP Swiss franc buys, which delivered anyway. But this happened. I predicted this, predicted that. Here we have this Asia range, and we swept Asia range high, right? So if we go to the 15, there's no sweep. But if we go to the 15, there's displacement. Oops. From here all the way to here. Ah, no. It's at 8:14. I was late to this. Anyway, this would have been the trading setup right here. We'll just watch it. We'll just put it in the watch list. Unfortunately, we did miss out on the entry. If I was to enter now, it's below 1 to 2, which is the minimum I take anyway. So put this in the watch list. GBP CAD. It was in the range. Put this in Forex. Euro GBP, we swept the low. We'll put it in the watch list for now. That displacement upwards. Technically, it is. I don't know if it's one I want to enter, but it is a displacement. Did kind of break structure here this high, and then we now displaced back downwards. I'm not convinced. Let me see the overall trend. So on the daily, we've been bearish. Queen is low lows, low highs, so we've been very bearish. On 4-hourly, we've also been bearish, and we've also been quite wicky as well. So it means that it's a very volatile. And when we come back down to this time frame, here we have been bearish, which could be the what do you call it? The Judas swing. But we're not in conjunction with the higher time frames. So we're not going to enter it. But let's just say we did, because technically we can see prices moving up quite fast. We entered it like here, and we was targeting this liquidity here. Let's see what happens. So it's in the watch list for now, but we're not entering that. GBP Swiss franc. Okay, on the daily, we've taken out the liquidity above this wick. Um, mm, there's some slight liquidity over here. We filled the imbalance here already. We filled it once, filled it twice. So we've filled it and we've swept it. I think this could potentially go down. We just would need a displacement. But we definitely have a sweep. So could put that up here. Euro AUD is in a range that goes to Forex. GJ swept. We'll just put it in sweep. GU swept. Euro JPY swept. Euro Swiss franc. Ooh, interesting. So this is different to Euro JPY because JPY is saying that it's going up. This one looks like it's going down. We are this counts as displacement right here. So we can put sweep in displace for that one. NZD JPY, we'll just put in sweep. Euro USD, we'll put in a watch list. It's close to Asia highs. USD JPY, we technically have swept the Asia high, but I'm not convinced. We'll just put that in watch list for now, since it technically has swept it. CAD JPY again is going up, but it's also a sweep. AD JPY has swept it. It looks like it's coming down. There is a slight, I don't know if this will be enough of a sweep for me, but there is displacement here, and of which price seems to be, but we'll just put it in sweep. Euro CAD is in the range. We'll put this in Forex. Swiss franc JPY as a sweep. We'll put it over here. GJ within the range. Put in Forex. CAD Swiss franc has swept. Put it up here. USD Swiss franc has swept. We'll put it up here. NZD Swiss franc has swept. We'll put it up here. And I like the look of it in the market. Euro CAD is in the range. Yes, all of these are in the range. What about this? Range, this. Range, but I'm interested. NZD CAD, range. NZU, put in a watch list. GBP NZD, range. Technically a sweep. Okay, so I'm not going to look at the ones in Forex. Watch list, I'm going to only look at this one for now. Or this one we want to watch. So I'm going to move on. We're going to start from here because this one actually has potential to be an entry. So our idea is that we've swept buy-side liquidity. On the 4-hourly, we've swept, I guess, some highs over here. We've swept these highs and we've swept these highs. We have not swept these highs over here. And we're at the body of this candle right here. So over here, you can see we've swept all of these. So I think once we've gathered all this liquidity, it could push us to the downside. On the 5-minute, we have, if you look at the line chart, you can see here we're creating these higher highs and higher lows. Like so. But even though we've displaced, this doesn't count as the low right here. So let me just get rid of this just for context. This low right here is not a low because we haven't created a higher high. This high is, if this high was up here, then this would be classified as a low because this would be confirmed by the high. But because it's unconfirmed, we haven't created a higher high. The low could come all the way down here and still create a higher high, and that will be the low. So this is an unconfirmed low. So though it's displaced, it hasn't had a market structure shift. The market structure shift actually would be current after it closes below this. So we have displaced, and it looks like we're about to close. Now, in this instance, we'll then be looking for a pullback. If once it closes below here, we'll then be looking for a pullback to then sell. Okay, so we can put this here. GBP Swiss franc. So this is the daily fair value gap we've come up to. We filled it, we've swept it. There is an order block as well. That is this candlestick right here, which we've come up to into the midpoint. On the daily, we've had the sweep of the Asia session high, swept this high over here. We've touched the middle of the order block on the daily time frame. We've shifted, I wouldn't say shifted, but we've moved downwards. I mean, we've kind of had like a fair value gap right here. And we've kind of, I guess, swept a little bit to the downside. We've broken structure. Okay, we go to line chart. This is the low right here that we've closed below. And now that we've done that, we will then look for a retracement into this fair value gap to then sell it to these Asia session lows right here. trying to see why this was the overlap between the order block and the fair value gap. So we don't need the fair value gap. This was just context. And so yeah, this is kind of what we'll be looking for right here. Pull back. We've had the sweep. We've had the displacement. We've had the market shot shift. Now we want the retracement to entry. And then we can get in on this action. And into something like this. It'll actually be a 1 to 9. Looks good. And it's also a sell on. So we're buying Swiss franc today, it looks like. So what I like to do is that when I have something here, I would like to look at other pairs that contain one of the currencies. So I can get a gauge on the buyers for it. For example, if I'm selling against, or I'm buying the Swiss franc, I'm selling something before it, I want to see how euro is doing. So then I'll look at euro somewhere else, and I can see euro is bullish here. Then I'll look at euro here. I can see it's bullish here. I look at euro here, see it's bullish here. So I know that, okay, although Swiss franc is bullish, euro is actually doing quite well. So to sell euro, Swiss franc has to be doing really well. Then I see, okay, the same is true for GBP. Let me look at GBP. Okay, GBP looks like it could potentially be going down here. It's going up for yen. So that means yen is bearish, it seems. Next GBP. Euro is actually stronger than GBP. So it would actually be better to enter on this than it would be to enter on this, because euro is stronger than GBP, just based on them together. So you can see that there's buyers here, which is euro against the pound. And so if that's the case, that means the euro is doing well against the pound so far. Obviously, it is a short sample size, so we can't just make that decree and go by it for the whole week or day. It is temporary moves and a temporary kind of bias, but it's enough for us to at least, for the short term, calculate or determine for the next 17 pips. Now, in this instance where price is moving down strongly, you could do a couple of things. So one, you can create another area of entry, which is a little bit closer to where price is at, so it doesn't have to pull back as much, and then you can get in a little bit earlier, which would be a little bit riskier because it could wake up and go back to the original place of entry. So the way to mitigate that would be to enter on a lower lot size. And another thing I do is I set a fib retracement towards for the Asia session. Once price displaces to the midpoint, it will either count as a thing of I would only enter on like the deepest PD array, and I'm very patient because it's delivered most of what is promised, or delivered most of the direction that we predicted. So because it's delivered most of it, and it technically hasn't taken out liquidity here, external liquidity here, I'll need to wait for that pullback. And the pullback tends to be strong too, because when it fails to deliver, people see it as a sign of weakness. And so my idea would be to only get in on like the order block midpoint, and then I'll set my stop loss to like this, and also increase my risk to ratio anyway. So I'm playing it safer. I'm getting a deeper pullback. Now, this is a trial theory. I've tested it a couple of times, not enough to fully commit to it as an idea, as a strategy, but it is a thing I'm looking at currently. I've noticed that when price displaces to the midpoint over the previous session, it tends to have a deeper pullback. Every time I've tried to get in a little bit closer to price, it tends to be getting swept out, or at least hit my stop loss. So I've determined that so far that the theory is that, or the hypothesis is that, as price displaces to halfway point of the previous session, it requires a deeper pullback to then face an entry or re-entry. So these are the ones that we have as sweep. So you can see when I have something on the watch list, I don't really need to do much, right? I just need to just flick through it when I'm bored. Sweep is the one we have to place the most attention to, right, when we're trading. And the reason why is because the next thing that follows a sweep of a session's high is that we then look for displacement. Now, these session highs, I want to clarify, look at the time frames. It is based on, I think, on one of the American times, because 7 p.m. Asia session ends in our time, 7 a.m., which is GMT. And that's this blue line here, which is 3 a.m. here. So this time is currently 4 hours behind. So 7 a.m. to 9 p.m., 9 a.m., sorry. This is the London session's kill zone. It's not the full session. The full session will be to 5 p.m. There's overlap between this and the American session, but we're looking for the high kill zones, which is the high places of volatility. I don't look at sessions highs anymore because you get a lot less opportunities, a lot slower opportunities, and I can only really trade London session late in the morning, which I think I miss a lot more opportunities. So I go for this strategy instead. So here we have the 50-minute. And we have this displacement here. Now, I'm looking at the 5 minute, and technically there is a displacement on the 5 minute from here to here, which is the lower quartile of the 15-minute fair value gap. It is a little bit cleaner, the 5 minute, because it doesn't include these wicks. But the 15 minute looks very good. So what I'll do in this instance is that I wouldn't mind getting in a little bit early. So I'll get in like here, and then I'll be targeting here. Now, although that's my target, we would have to be careful of opposing fair value gaps, opposing lows and liquidity areas where price can come up from. But we've had this sweep in this place, so it can move up to this place. But not only have we had this sweep and this place, we then need to determine, has market structure been broken? So we're going to remove this for now because we like to keep our charts clean, but we can always redraw that if we are looking to enter. So I like to use the line chart because it's easier to show. You want to look at these lows over here and determine, okay, has price closed below? So then you come back, once you've drawn a low, we'll need to wait for this candlestick for the next 1 minute 30 to know if we want to look for the retracement. Because if we displace, but we close above the low, that's not enough power, not enough information, not enough force to drive price to the other side of liquidity for us. We maybe need to have a deeper retracement or a retracement, then a pullback down, and then another retracement for our entry. Euro Swiss franc looks like it's delivering already to price. It's come very close. I'm assuming GBP, yeah, is quite low. So this is a trade we saw happening. We just didn't get that retracement. We did miss this one. I was at 8:30. We could have gone in here. Unfortunately, we were not. Well, technically we were live, but we missed out by a couple of minutes. So it's a bit strict. That's why I need to start earlier. It's my fault. That no one to blame. But yeah, this would have been a nice trade over here. Could have gone in right at the edge, sold, I think the boxes above here, and then we would have had our TP over here, which is a 1 to 8, which is still pretty solid. Unfortunately, though, we are not in it, but there is still an opportunity at least for us to get in. Cool. So looking at some more opportunities. Here's the same thing. This is the low we want to close below. Once we get that confirmation, we can then look for a pullback. And because the 5 minute overlaps the 15, we can get in here. We'll just set our stop loss accordingly to the 15-minute time frame. And then we'll be looking for, oh, I didn't realize. I didn't realize we'd swept the lows of the Asia session. Now, although we've technically swept, sorry, I have a face cam, so I'm using air quotes. Although we've technically swept the Asia session low right here, we are looking, it's not the deepest of a sweep. So there'll be some psychopaths that would probably have been swept out here. But I believe it would have needed a little bit of a longer candlestick, maybe like this, for it to classify as a proper sweep. So yes, we had a sweep here, but even still, one of my favorite setups is when it sweeps a low, sweeps a high, and then delivers to external liquidity like this. And then you can get a huge risk-reward ratio once everything lines up. Because the context to this specific pair is that it's bearish, right? Now, in the short term, it's bullish. As you can see, we've had this displacement to upside, breaking the structure here. But if you look on the daily, you look at the line chart, you can see we had the high here, low here, high here, low here. This is not a confirmed high because this didn't create a lower low. So we are currently at the previous high, but we haven't broken it. Instead, we've swept the high, but we didn't close above. We didn't stay above the high. So we actually could be bearish here. And we have an Asia session which created this range. We've swept the low, swept the high, and we've had a displacement breaking structure because we've just closed the 5 minute. Don't know why it's not zooming in. We just closed below the 5 minute, and we've had a displacement in doing so. So this is actually at our entry point, but we would be setting our stop loss around about here. Just add a couple of pips with spreads, and then we'll be targeting these lows here. So this is potentially our first entry. Now, the things that happen as soon as I do this is I go to my phone. I then get the pip calculator out, which is a couple of buttons away. And this is GBP USD. I do not enter the trade until I've done this, no matter how much it drops. It's about, let's just say 10 pips now with the movement already. Let's say we'll do like this amount. It's moving very quickly though. GBP USD. And then we set our stop loss. Make sure that's set correctly. And our TP is down here as well. 133987. Yeah, I'd like to round it up, so I'll put 99. So currently in this, I kind of explained my reasoning as to why, and you can see that it just about touched the edge of the 5-minute fair value gap. Didn't come up to the 15 midpoint. So that's why I don't really always wait for the midpoint. Now, it could come back up still, but we gave you the reason as to why I got in early and why I got in down. Now, our entry, right now, let me post this actually into Telegram. It's the next step. Telegram currently is my place of just documenting my trades. And it's an idea group chat. It's not signals. What? Just for me to track. And yeah, this is the trade. Yeah, we'll go over yesterday later. For now, we're in this trade. I'm happy with it. Euro Swiss franc is very close to Asia sessions. When price gets this close to the point of delivery, I don't really look for entries unless it's like an A1 where it comes all the way back up to the order block and it's showing some signs of rejection on a small time frame. Euro Swiss franc is the same. Okay, so let's go through the sweep, see if there's any other opportunities. I don't trade continuations. When a price sweeps a session's high, I'm not really, as of now, at the ability where I'm confident or comfortable trading a continuation above a session's high. Not yet, anyway, but yeah. Okay, so this, similar to, is it GU? Yeah, similar to GU, how we swept London lows. Again, air quotes. Oh, wait, what pair was that? ADJPY, we've technically swept here. And not only that, it's not, I guess it would still count if we had a good enough entry. Now, the only way I'd enter this is I'd be picky. So I want it to come to the order block, number one. Number two, I need the context to match. Context is that it's bearish. Okay. So we have been creating these low lows on the 4-hourly. On the daily, however, we are technically still bearish, but we're within this range over here. So although we're bearish or bullish, sorry, on the daily, we are in a range, which means there are some selling opportunities. It's just that it's more likely for buys than sells right now. When you get to the lower end of this box, you wouldn't be looking for buys because it's a discount. When it comes up, you wouldn't be looking for sells because that's the premium. Now, in this instance, it's not as black and blue or black and white. What we need now is for context on other yen pairs. See, you have all these yen pairs in my watch on my sweep section. Let's see what the other ones are doing. So here we've had a sweep above, and we're continuing above, continuing above, continuing above, continuing. So why would I enter sells here? So I'm not personally looking for sells, despite the fact we've had a sweep displacement, come back and retest. I'm not interested in entering. This kind of falls under the category of experience, where after you get used to the markets, there's some pairs you just get a vibe you don't want to enter. This is the reasoning behind the vibe is that the other yen pairs are not agreeing. So I'm not really that into now. It's not a guarantee. You can have all these yen pairs bullish, and this is the one that wants to go down, right? That's possible. But personally, I like the odds in my favor, and I like as many confluences that I value in my favor. I'm not entering this personally, but some people can. And again, another one below it as well, also bullish. CAD Swiss franc, we've had the sweep. Now, this is the pair I don't really trade that much, mainly because of all the gaps. I don't like it. But looking over here, we have some clean displacement. I like this area here. It's quite clean from here to here. We are at the midpoint. We've had a sweep with a high, but yeah, it's almost impossible to trade this pair. Let me see if there's another example that's better. Is it Wanda? Oh, you see. Probably turn the setting off. Let's try again. Okay, it just doesn't work. I think it's this one. It's Wanda. Check this one. Okay, there's no gaps on this. Try this one then. Wait, is it, how many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. Bring back Swiss franc. I'd have to get rid of more. I could get rid of crypto low key. And DXY. Should be able to now add it. Really? I guess not. Just delete those for no reason. It's all good though. And Control Z doesn't get rid of it, I'm assuming. Yeah, it doesn't. Cool. All right. So yeah, GBP Swiss franc looks like it's delivering. GU. Okay, we retested the 5 minute again up here. Now it looks like we're coming down after this second retest. I think that was that confirmation. So you could have actually got in again, low key. Some people would have got in here. And then, yeah, I expect this to come down down to this Asia session low right here. I think these are probably lost like opportunities or not missed opportunities rather than, you know, me looking to get back into them. With the M pairs, we're ignoring them for now. Swiss franc, we've kind of delivered as well. Like, let's come up to this area, and then it's, you know, almost delayed delivery. So opportunity's kind of gone here. AU, is AUD that bad that it's dropping against the dollar? That's dropping against everything else. I think we need to start looking for opportunities against AUD, the ones that haven't been realized yet. Because AUD seems very weak. Like, we're going down against USD, but USD is going down here. USD is going down here. USD is going down here, but it's going up here. Obviously, it's up because, you know, it's like AUD USD. But if I was to invert the chart, it's going up. Yeah, put my phone aside. Okay, so AU, I'm looking at it and I see there's some unrealized potential in AUD pairs potentially. USD is even going down here. I don't think it's going to go up. SND Swiss franc. We've been selling the Swiss francs over here, so this could be an opportunity for us. Do we have a clean displacement? So what I like about this is, first of all, we have this bullish displacement. Okay, over here. We then have this low over here. What has price done? So price is displaced upwards, faking out people that want to buy. We've closed above the Asia session right here, and we displaced upwards. So this is like manipulation or a lot of orders, whatever you want to call it. But we displaced upwards. Then after this displacement, this is a sweep as well. We then come back down. We'll come back down slowly. We don't have the cleanest of displacements, at least for now. We come back down to the midpoint of this displacement and we push up. But we don't create a high. We create low lows, right? Then we continue creating low lows to the point where we close below this low right here. You can see this is the low. This is closed below it, right? Then it's come back down up to this. Is this a fair value gap I drew? The edge of this fair value gap, which look, here was our entry point. And then it's come back down again, right? It looks like it's going to come back down again. So my entry would have been the edge of this, right, to just above the midpoint of this. Is the inverse. And then delivery here. Why is this something I'm looking at? Because we've seen before the other Swiss franc pairs are bearish. So Swiss franc is bullish. So NZD Swiss franc is behind the other two. So there's still opportunity here. The only thing we need to be careful with is how bullish NZD is. But look how weak yen is. And we're going up against the yen on every single pair but NZD. So I feel like this is just an opportunity that is waiting to happen. So we're going to look to get into this soon, potentially. Euro GBP is one we're watching. We didn't get into it because I felt like the context was bearish. So I want to see if this still delivers to the Asia session highs, and then we'll determine, okay, why did we not enter it? What was the mistake? This one we just missed, but I want to see again if it delivers to the lows like we have potentially almost done on the other pairs. So I am looking at NZD Swiss franc as my next opportunity. So let's focus on it. So we have a displacement here and here, which looks like we're respecting. So we could even get in on something like this. Probably say like this. NZD Swiss franc. Let's do it. So I go quick. Say like, let's see if it's franc. Okay, we got in. Oh, we are going late. Set my values properly. Okay, so currently in this, let me post this in to Telegram. Okay, now we didn't get in here, unfortunately. We got in 46366. My broker got me in all the way down here. Still a 1 to 2 at least. We're putting this to 5. Okay, so this is where I got in for spreads and brokerage and whatever. Okay. The G is doing very well. And see, this Swiss franc is doing decent. We did all of this live, ladies and gentlemen, all of this live. Wow. Your GBP looks like it's going to deliver. Same as 80 Swiss franc. Oh my gosh, what they were having. Okay, wait, it doesn't make sense. Why is the London session not? Oh, we're saying that this is the London session end. Oh, the kill zone has ended. I see. Is that correct? I'm saying it's 2 hours long from. I think that's wrong. I think it's an hour short. Yeah, 7 to 10 a.m. So it should be going on for at least another hour. So let's change that. 6. Yeah, that's better. Still on the session. All right. Yeah, this is delivered. Euro Swiss franc delivered. And Euro Swiss franc delivered. Nice. Unfortunately, we didn't get into these trades, but it's nice to know the strategy is working. Euro GBP is almost delivered. Not yet. Okay. Okay, this is looking like a sweep soon. Okay, here we swept technically. Another yen pair though. EU is still within the range. Same as NZD, USD technically though. Not really interested because USD is bearish as well. GA. We've had a sweep over here. GBP CAD. I was looking for sales mainly, so I don't think I'll be interested in this, but we'll keep it there anyway. Go back to Super AD CAD. Add that to the list. Oops. And again, let me see the context of this one. Kind of consolidating daily higher highs and higher lows. Although we'll create higher highs, higher lows, this is an area where we've dropped multiple times. We dropped here once, dropped here twice, dropped here 3 times. And this is the 4th time we're here. So we could still drop despite the fact that we're short-term bullish. The only thing we didn't do though is we didn't sweep these highs. We left our liquidity up. So we're not going to enter sales when we haven't had a liquidity sweep above or buy side liquidity. Now, technically, there is buy side liquidity from here, but I also like to include that with an Asian session. So if the London session sweep Asian session highs, I would be looking for sales aggressively, or at least I'll just be looking for sales. Unfortunately, though, it didn't happen. So the trades we're in, GU is close to our thing. So there's a thing I'm adding to my strategy, which is to monitor trades. A lot of times I enter trade, forget about it, which is good, but sometimes it does require me to kind of adjust or to make some adjustments within the trade. So what I do is I mark lows, areas of interest, and essentially I set alerts at the most important ones. And the purpose is that once we get to this area, I want to see how it reacts. Here, it just broke through, so I'm not concerned about this low right here. But this one, if it starts to reject it a lot, or on a small time frame, like the 1 minute, it starts showing market structure shifts, I might be looking at getting out. Because the idea of the strategy is to deliver to my destination. So if I get any stagnation or whatever it may be, there is some concern there. There is also a fair value gap here, so I want to see how it reacts to this. So I'm going to set maybe another one for now, just above here while I'm looking at Swiss franc. So with this one, we've again abolished this low right here because that was kind of partially due to our entry. Due to our entry, here there's a low here and there's a low right next to the Asian session low. And then we also have a fair value gap. I'm going to make it this big over here. So the things we're looking for. So on GU, we want to, I don't know why this one doesn't like me. This one, we're just going to hold. Like I know it's rejecting kind of the bottom of this fair value gap, which is technically it's rejecting this order block right here, and this kind of whatever for now. But yeah, this order block right here is what we're reacting to. This isn't good, but it's not bad. The only thing is if we break bearish concerns, which is basically our break even. So I'm gonna leave this trade. Even if it's a loss, actually, I'm gonna leave it. I found that it's a better strategy just to leave and let be. That even if there's noise, it's noise for a reason. And we're just going to see is I'm going to hit my stop loss or my TP. But I would be interested still if it comes down to this level because I still may take some partials. NZD Swiss franc. This fair value gap is now to me of no value. I would like to know if price comes down here and to know what price does when it does get to this location. So up a little bit on our account. Yeah. But now I don't really see any layering opportunities. I'm gonna avoid the end for now. This is delivered as well. USD Swiss franc, EU, GBP CAD. Okay, I think we are good. We're just gonna wait. Drag these to watch this. I don't think. Keep checking it. right, so that's it for this morning. Again, I might go live later today. It's a strong might, mainly because when I hit my quota, I don't generally stream again. But you can see both of the trades we've taken. We posted both of them. Gave my reasons as to why I entered both, and hopefully they both deliver to TP. And then we go again tomorrow. This is day 29. Successful start, successful day, and then we'll go again tomorrow. It's a longer stream as well because we started from the scratch. Point of note for tomorrow and future references: start earlier so we can get into more opportunities. We missed out on a couple of our trades, such as we'll be in the watch list. These three right here, missed out on this, missed out on this, and we missed out on this. So those are three very good opportunities. This is a 1 to 7. This is a 1 to 5. This is a 1 to 11. So we missed out on a lot of pips and good trades. So we're gonna start earlier tomorrow. I'll be back in the New York session. If you want to see the Telegram, it's the first link in the description to join. It's free. It's just to see my ideas. I don't charge for that, and I don't think I will, at least for the time being. I might have a different pay channel in the future, but we're building. We're still building. We're still building. So yeah, that's today's session done, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you guys for tuning in, watching this back. Appreciate you guys all. See you tomorrow. This is day 29. I'll see you guys day 30. Peace. It's me, boy CJ Hassie.